Hey guys, so I'm back. Thomas and I have another video for you. As you'll see, it was actually filmed a few months ago since we were still together in his apartment. I just wanted to come on and do a little like preview type thing and say that the video that you are about to see is one that is very touchy. It is about politics. In the political climate that we live in right now, there's a lot of hate going on. There's a lot of he said, she said type things. And we thought that it would be an interesting video if we talked about our political views. We also wanted to do this because we don't know if maybe there's couples out there that have different political views, just like we do, and how we get through that. So this video goes over what our views are and how as a couple we get along, understand each other, and how, unlike some people, it's not tearing us apart. We work on it. I know his views, he knows my views, compromise, full communication, and just knowing how each other feel. So I just wanted to come on and say that, and this is a long video. Please watch the whole thing, and we really hope that you enjoy it. So thank you.
What's up guys, it's Thomas, and I'm here with
Lily
for yet another awesome video. So, today we are talking about a very, very, very important and very, very touchy subject, and that is, Lily?
No, you say it.
It's the dreaded P word, politics. We get it, we know in this day and age that it's very, very hard to stay away from, to avoid, because there are so many people that have, very extreme opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were very, very concerned when discussing this video because Lily felt one way, I felt the other way. However, I felt it was important because I think that there are couples like us all across America and even all across the world, that have differences of opinion. Now, as great as it would be to say that, the way we vote or the way we think doesn't have an effect on our relationship, as great as that would be to say, it wouldn't be true. Yeah. Now, I think one of the reasons we started this channel was because we wanted to give you guys an honest insight into our lives. And, politics, whether for better or for worse, has had an impact on our life. Now, we've had some really, really, really good comments and great, I would call them, fans almost, write in and comment on our videos. And we're really, really lucky to have that. Lily, who is that one young lady that keeps responding to our videos?
Mackenzie Evans.
Yeah, Mackenzie Evans. Mackenzie,
we love you.
We love you. I read your comments and they put a really big smile on my face. So thank you very much.
I'm going to find her channel so I can show you guys.
Right.
You should go subscribe to her.
Right. Now, the point I'm trying to make is we're very, very different, and I like to think that I'm a likable guy. And I'm going to say something which might turn a lot of you off of this channel, but I'm a Republican.
I'm going to pause you 1 second. That is her channel. Mackenzie Evans. Yeah. Go subscribe. Yeah. Love you, girl. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm a Republican. I wasn't particularly raised in a Republican household. I don't really have much to attribute to it, but that is just how I've developed over time. Lily, on the other hand, is a more liberal Democrat. And like I said, it's very, very hard to avoid, especially as we're both getting older. We're both starting to get more involved in, in work, in jobs. Because I work, things like taxes, things like, how I have to get to work. These are issues that I have to take on more and more of the, over as the years go by. And Lily will be as well, as she's now transitioning from college into the workplace. And we wanted to make a video and just kind of share about how we feel and how that's affected our lives. I would say personally, and Lily, may feel differently. She may feel the same, but our relationship isn't perfect. But I think we have a very, very good relationship. I think we're very honest. We keep secrets for like birthdays and Christmases, but when it comes to how we feel, we're honest. And we've had fights about it. But I think having fights about something versus not saying anything and sweeping it under the rug, I think it's important.
And letting it blow up later on.
Exactly. And so, politics is one of those items because Lily's family, I absolutely adore them. I love them, and they're great people. Her family is more liberal, more democratic, more progressive is I think the word. But and my family, I would say, my parents are British. They don't really follow the U.S. political system, but I guess if you were to move them over here, they would be on the more liberal side as well. But they're more sort of reserved. They're more quiet, and they're more sort of in their own way. I know that it's very, very hard to kind of share what your beliefs are because people, and everybody can share some blame. It's not a one-sided thing. Are very, very quick to point fingers and judge. I voted, for Donald Trump, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, and I know that a lot of people have some very valid points. But for me, the decision was very important, and it wasn't a non-thought out one. It's just it's hard for me when the people I surround myself with have such a polar opposite opinion than I do. Sometimes I feel out of my depth, out of my league, and sometimes I've been made to feel, downright horrible.
Well, that and him saying that is part of it. For example, when we first started talking was a couple days before the Women's March.
Right.
And I was there.
Right.
So I voted for Hillary. Did I think that she was the best person to run the country? No, I didn't.
Right.
But I refused to vote for Trump.
Right.
And it's that kind of thing that I had such a hard stand on not him, whereas he voted for Donald Trump.
Right.
And when we first started talking, I think this is important to say, we didn't talk about politics right away.
Right.
And I don't know if it would have been any different if we had.
Yeah. It may have been, it may not have been.
Yeah.
I think, though, definitely the media and the Facebook, I think that's had a big impact on it because we're both active on social media. We're both on computers, and it's so easy to get information nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely that's had an impact. That's kind of brought it into our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, one of the reasons, again, that I thought it was important to bring up is because I think that we're not the only couple that feel this way. I know that there are couples, they feel this way about religion, they feel this way about marriage, they feel this way about, nationalities. It's not just I think you can put this situation into many different topics, and I just think it's important to talk about. I'm very, I'll use the word stubborn. I'm stubborn when it comes to my beliefs. I genuinely feel that I make the right decisions because I feel that I think about it, and I think that the amount of time I invest in something and I put into it, I think then you should commit to that. And if then a mistake is made, then you need to own up to that. So when I voted for Donald Trump, I voted knowing that this was the man I was going to back, and if in 4 years' time I felt personally that he let me down, then it was time for me to say, I need to own it. I need to look at myself. And I need to say, maybe we should try something else. Maybe we should try something different. I think that moving and having a start like I did in life, which was one that was kind of thrown in the deep end very, very early on, by moving here, I think that that's pushed me into a position where I've had to do a lot of independent thinking at a very, very soon age, at an early age. And I think that Lily and I, we've had fights. We've had fights about this issue before. And I think that she's wrong on issues, and Lily thinks that I'm wrong on issues. And I think that's okay. I really do. I think that for everybody to say, oh, we agree on everything, it's not true.
We also grew up differently, though.
Exactly. We've had different upbringing. And like I said, I love Lily's family. I love Lily's mom and dad, and they are the best kind of people there is. And I don't agree with them on political issues, but I know that they've raised Lily really well. I know that I could go to them if I ever had any issues or problems. And I also feel that if they had any problems with Lily, or if there were any problems, I feel that they would trust me and they could trust me, despite having these differences. And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to get this video up was because there is so much of a polar opposite today, where it's like, oh, you're this person, I don't want to have any association with you. And I think the point I'm trying to make is, I get why, but I don't think that's a way that we can do things. I think that we can have differences of opinion, but I think that we can still look to each other, when it really counts, when it's when we're tested, when we're pushed, and I think it's okay.
Do you want to give them an example?
Yeah.
Because it feels like, I don't know, like for you guys, like it feels like to me we're like, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But like to you guys, it may be like, okay, they have difference of opinions,
right.
But on what? Like,
right.
What are those
right.
differences?
Okay. Yeah. Well, for example,
that's something I know about.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, this is very important. He is more, how would you say it? Like.
Well, I read the news every day. I look at different sources, and I try to find the most the most background of a situation as I can. Now, for example, privilege, whether it is white privilege, whether it is privilege in wealth, whether it is male privilege.
Okay.
That's a topic we've had issues with in the past.
Yes.
Now, for example, Lily is of the opinion that we have huge disparities in America. If am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Amongst male to female.
Yeah.
White to black.
White to almost anyone else, but specifically black right
Yeah.
now.
Okay. And I'm of the opinion that I think that for anybody to say that there is no racism and that there is no sexism, I think that as ignorance. But I don't believe that the issue is as
divided?
As it's as divided as we're made to think. And the reason I say that is I look at these people. I saw the video that was that came out the last couple of days. It was "This Is America" by
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, and that video got me thinking, and I understand the points.
That video is great. It really is.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
right.
I think that it is.
And again, I understand the points. I understand where he's coming from, but it's hard for me. It's hard for me when I'm a working man. I like to think that I pay my dues to society. I like to think that I do right by myself and by Lily, and honestly think I can look myself in the mirror every day and know that I'm doing the best job I can. It's hard for me to say we have such deep divides when I can see people like Beyonce, people like Colin Kaepernick, people like Obama. I can see them. I can see them shooting for the stars, and I can see them doing really, really successfully. And I don't agree with the lyrics in Beyonce's songs. I don't believe in all of Barack Obama's politics. And quite frankly, I think Colin Kaepernick is a really bad quarterback. But I'm a Patriots fan myself. But the point I'm trying to make is, I think that America is the place that if you put the work in and if you put the time in, that you can achieve anything. I firmly believe that. I believe it because we have seen it time and time again. I know that the Congress is predominantly white. I know that the NFL is predominantly black. I know that rap is made up of mostly black singers. And I know that jazz is the same thing.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is it necessarily a bad thing that it's predominantly white, predominantly black? I like to think that we all bring something to the table. I really like jazz music, and quite frankly, I've never heard any music from a white jazz musician that I like. I'm trying to break it down, and I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can. Because the way I feel is, I think that the country has issues when it comes to the way it's run. I think that politics have always been a problem. But I think that to say we need to change Congress to include more people of ethnicity and women, for example, I think that it's being looked at the wrong way. I see the bumper sticker and the sticker in your mom's living room, or no, sorry,
in the studio.
The one that says a woman's place is in the White House. I've never felt that. No, please, I'm trying to stop.
No, I know.
No, stop it. I'm talking. What I'm trying to say is, I don't feel a woman's place is in the White House. The same way as I don't feel a man's place is in the White House. I feel it is the best person for that job. I feel that if you're hiring people for the position of a police officer, I don't think you should pick them based on what their skin color is or what religion they belong to. I believe you should pick them based on, are they the best for the job? Now, the police issue, that's a completely different road that I don't want to go down today. But the point I'm trying to make is we all bring something different to the table. And I will never be a professional athlete. Look at me. I'm not built for that. I'm not built to run great distances. I'm not really built to run, period. But I know that I have a good mind. I know that I'm a hard worker. And so I don't need to be put in a position of the NFL. I don't need someone to say, he deserves a chance, because I don't. I don't work that hard. But in turn, I don't want somebody to be put in a position like mine or superior to me because they deserve, because they should get it. I just feel that I strongly feel that you get what you give, and if you put in the time and you put in the effort and you put in the work, I believe it will pay off. Again, I don't feel that there is no disparity or that there is no issues. I think there are. But I think that we need to stop worrying about what's fair and what's okay and what's acceptable. Because life's never going to be fair. It's not been for me. I think I've made my own luck in life. I didn't go to college. I don't have a degree. I don't have student debt. I don't have a lot of those things. I don't particularly have many friends. I think that I work very hard. I think that I get in and I focus. And I think that Lily's the same way in school. I don't think you were given anything. I don't think you were given your degree. I don't think you were given an A or a B. I think that that's something you work for, and that's just what I believe. I'd say overall I'm a pretty lazy guy when it comes to the weekends, but I think that when it comes time to work, I think, put into it. I don't think color should be an issue. I don't think gender should be an issue. I don't think it should be, we need a woman for this job. I think it should be, we have a group of people here. Here's the best qualified. If it's a woman, who cares? Good for her. She put the work in. She deserves it. Same way as anybody else. And a lot of you may think differently. And if you feel that way, I want to know. I just feel that I feel that we all need to stop looking for people to blame and start looking at ourselves and thinking, wait, is there maybe another reason I didn't get the job? Is there maybe another reason I didn't, make the cut of the team? Or is there maybe another reason that I didn't do this or this or this? Now, again, I can't stress it enough. I know that all the issues aren't black or white. It's not, you didn't work, you didn't put the time in. I get it. I know that there are some times it can happen. And if there was ever a time that Lily was ever faced with a position like that, I'd like to think that I would give her the best advice I could, which I always try to do. But the point I try to make is maybe sometimes it wasn't because you are a woman or because you are of color. I think I was very, very lucky growing up. I had a great family that really looked after me well and taught me right. But in terms of money, I don't think I was particularly privileged. I never had an iPhone. I only got an iPhone once I started working for the company I do. I bought my first computer after, working all summer for it. And I think that I don't think that my skin color has particularly helped me in life. And Lily, you might feel differently. And so
Yeah, I disagree with that a lot, actually.
Okay.
He is right. He wasn't necessarily privileged, but I think that he has had, based on the fact that he's a male and he's white, that he's had a lot of privilege. Not like family-wise, but like work-wise. And I think...
Like how?
Well, I just think that there's... So the job you have now is a very good one, and it's one that I don't know for sure, but it's mostly men, right? Other than like there's like receptionists and there's women that work in your field for sure.
Well, I can't. So I work for a small real estate company by a lot of company standards. 80% of our upper management is female, and we have about 10 men in our corporate office and about 30 women in our corporate office. So it's a ratio of about 3 to 1.
Okay.
I think that changes when you get to properties, though. I think.
So maybe not at work, but I think out on the street, the issue is it's hard to explain because I can't think of a specific event right now. But I think that you as a white male, even necessarily as a Republican, depending on where you are, you get a lot more opportunities, you get a lot more people willing to talk to you, you get more, like, options, I guess. It's hard for me because this is one of those topics that, like, I was really nervous to film this. Because, to be honest, I'm scared we're going to lose people.
Right.
Talking about this.
Right. Right. And if you don't mind, I think that Lily was right. I think that Lily is right to feel worried.
Because we are so divided.
Right.
And I'm telling you, when we first met, like, someone messaged me on Tinder and they had on their profile, when, like, before they before I swiped, they didn't have anything. After I swiped, we started talking, and they were like, I'm a Trump supporter, just so you know. And I completely shut it down, like right away. So for me to then end up with a Trump supporter was weird to me at first, because it was that difference. It's the fact that I didn't know right away. I will say now, though, that we, like he has said, we've had fights about it. But there's a point at which now, like, I'll send him something and be like, what are your thoughts? Or he'll do the same to me. Watch this video and tell me what you think.
Right.
And we're still extremely honest with each other. We're not like, oh, I hate this, or oh, I love that. But there's this level of, like, understanding that I can't change him and he can't change me. So there's this level of just be honest about be honest, but don't attack.
Right.
Like, he's going to say things that I hate, and I'm going to say things that he hates. Yeah, that was right.
Right, and I don't think neither of us, we don't mean to hurt or put that on, but I think that we are both aware, because of past relationships or experiences, that there's no point changing your beliefs to satisfy someone else, because you'll never be truly satisfied with yourself. And so I always try to instill in Lily that she can do anything she puts her mind to. And she can get out there and she can make it happen.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't get it, well, at least she tried.
Yeah.
And so again, I think that it's really important to do that in a relationship, because you are each other's crutch on the bad days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So continue.
So So do you want to talk about some of the things we do agree on?
Yeah, we agree on the traditional family and traditional marriage. In things like divorce, we both agreed that a lot of couples nowadays, it's very, very easy to call it quits.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, with a little bit of work and graft, you can pull through and things like that.
100%. I would like to only get married once.
Yeah.
I believe in divorce. I think that if it's something you have to do, like, for example, if you're married for like 10 years and you have kids, and you've worked on it for 5 years, and it's still not working, and you're fighting every day, then by all means, divorce is your option. Yeah. But let's say we get married whenever, and we're fighting, even for a month or two, and then things are fine, or we're fighting about something stupid. I don't think it's fair if either one of us got up one morning and was like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. Like, because what does that do? Like, you've been dating, you've gotten married, you went through that process, you spent that money. It's not about the money, but it's the fact that you've been through so much and done so much and invested so much money, time, love, in years. You've invested years in that, to then just be like, I'm done. Like, that's not fair to either person. Therapy is an important thing, in my opinion. So divorce we agree on. Preferably don't get a divorce, but if it's needed.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Yeah. We agree on the Second Amendment. We both agree on a right to own a firearm and
within
right
reason.
to defend yourself.
Within reason.
Within reason. Within reason for both of us, actually. Now,
you don't need to bring a gun to a graduation.
Right. I agreed with that as well. I'm pro Second Amendment, and when I'm able to, I would like to conceal carry, but you're just going to stir the pot with that. It's all attention seeking. I love guns. I always have.
He does.
I grew up watching westerns and war movies, and I own a gun myself, and I plan on owning more in the future. But I I like the AR-15. I think it's a great gun. It's a very well-built gun. It's got a lot of uses. If they were banned, I don't think it would particularly have an impact on my life. I can see why a lot of people at this point are sick of it, are sick of the issues, and are sick of the fighting.
The school shootings.
There's something that needs to be done about it.
Big issue, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that is another video for another time, but yeah, Second Amendment will be one.
Yeah, so we agree on that for sure.
And then I think that we also both believe in, and I could be wrong, but don't you and I both kind of believe in borders as well and things like that? Immigration is a touchy subject, especially for us because of our backgrounds and our families being kind of international.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we both understand, I believe, this. Well, maybe not yours so much because your mom is an American.
Yeah, but okay, I'm not gonna get into that. I have people in my family who are married to people who immigrated here.
Yeah, and I'm the only American in my. Well, me and my brother are the only Americans in the family, and I'm the only one that lives here.
Yeah.
And so, as someone who's grown up with parents that have lived here at one point and have desperately tried to stay because they left their life here so much, I also understand what an impact it has had on them.
Yeah.
That's why I feel really strongly on illegal immigration, because I've seen my mom, the day she had to move, and she was absolutely just destroyed because she loved it here so much. And
I thought they chose to move.
So my dad got a job out back in Europe, and this was at a point where, from a certain age, you know that your parents start to, they get older. As they get older, things get harder. Illness. If something were to happen, I think it was more of a sensible decision than I think this will be great for us. And I know that my mom, when she left America, she always tells me that the last day when me, my brother, and my sister were loaded into the car, she was in the empty house, and she said she just sat on the step and she cried and she cried. Now, that's why I feel really strongly about illegal immigration, because my parents went through the process and they tried and they tried and they tried and they couldn't do it. And so I feel that my parents, who have always worked in every single day of their lives, and for them to have not been able to have been afforded the same chance as someone that has crossed the border illegally.
See, in that case, I agree 100%. His parents are wonderful people. Yeah. His dad and his mom, but his dad travels, works,
travels a lot,
so much.
Yeah.
So that I agree with. For me, it's more, we agree, but the whole idea of like the wall, to me, is ridiculous. So it's like we agree to a point. But yeah, I think it's totally unfair that your parents weren't able.
Right. But that's the thing about it, and this country, for all of its issues and for all of its disparities, it really is a very great place, a very good place, and people in this country are very good people, and that's for all backgrounds. A lot of people may think, because he's a Republican, because he's this, because he's that, he only thinks one way. But I've traveled to 40 countries. I've spent most of my life in Europe. I believe that my education, or my opinion, is educated when it comes to other cultures, and I love other cultures. I love the Middle Eastern culture, funnily enough. A lot of people would say, oh wow. But I've been to the Emirates, I've been to Qatar, and I absolutely love it. And so, I think that they are what has made America an incredible place. I think America's not meant to be a fair place. America's meant to be a you put in the work, and you may not get there eventually, but you'll get there. And I think the whole idea of the American dream is very much still alive. And I really like that. I really like the American dream. Yeah. That's something I get up for every day. I love it.
If it works.
I think it works.
I don't think it works for everyone.
It doesn't work for everybody. It's not meant to work for everybody, though. People still come here because they believe in the American dream.
Or because they're fleeing from somewhere where all they hear all day is gunshots and bombs going off.
Then why not flee to France?
Because
why not
here
flee
it's easier.
No, it's not easier.
Yes, it is.
No, America's hard.
It's easier here.
It's not. You haven't lived anywhere else.
That doesn't mean that I don't know. Just because I haven't lived there doesn't mean that I haven't done research. I learned stuff in school.
Yeah.
Like, I think part of it is you have this idea that because you've lived all these places and gone all these places, that you only know stuff because of that. But I don't think that's fair to say, because just because you've lived there. Like, no, I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything. But a lot of these people are fleeing here because it's easier here than it is in certain other places.
Yeah, and we share a difference of opinion there.
See, there's an example, yeah. Like, I think for most of the stuff we're on board with each other. It's just we have certain details.
Right. I think in general, we're very, very similar. And I think that only when it comes to the nitty-gritty,
yeah,
and when it comes to the way things work and function, that we think differently.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine.
We also are both, I mean, obviously we're not that far apart in age, but I think we're also in different places. Like we've said, I'm still in school. I'm about to graduate. I have worked, but not like him.
And I already have my 401k.
See, I don't even really know what that is.
Yeah.
He moved here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was his choice, but that doesn't make it any easier.
No, absolutely not.
But it was your choice, though. You did come here, and
yeah, but it doesn't make it easier.
no, of course not. But yeah, like I still live at home. I did, like I said, I did work, but it's not the same. So I don't know. I mean, maybe opinions will change on my part, but I just think that overall, I mean, there's definitely things we really don't agree on.
Yeah.
But I think that if you guys enjoyed this one, maybe we'll do the whole
maybe
what we don't agree on.
Maybe if there's something that you guys said,
ask questions.
That point they touched on, that was really interesting. Maybe, just drop a comment and we can do something. We can do something here. But like I said in the beginning, we know it's a touchy subject, and we didn't want to make it to throw it in your faces. But we just felt that this is something that we go through almost daily, if not daily. And we thought that maybe by showing you guys that we go through similar issues or instances that, it's not just us or it's not just them. That, okay, there are a lot of people that feel the same way. Maybe we could get something going. And for people that are of a different ethnicity, a different religious background, or even different gender,
Mm-hmm.
And you disagree with what I said, because I said a lot, I know that. Let me know.
Yeah.
Because I do want to hear what you guys have to say.
That is one thing. He is very stuck in his ways, but he is willing to, and that's one of the things I loved about him, loved, was that he will listen and he will have a conversation. Yes, he's stuck in his ways. Yes, he'll say his point, but he's not like some people that will just shut it down. Like, you can say something and he won't be like, okay, whatever, and walk away.
Yeah, I think everybody should have the chance to say their piece and give their reasons why.
But I think that the reason, at least, this is what we're saying, but the reason I kind of got over my nervousness with this is that the point of this video is to show you guys that we have difference of opinions, different political views, but we don't hate each other.
No, you're all right.
Which is part of it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people, Republicans, Democrats, that hate, like cannot be in the same room.
Yeah.
Whereas we've been together for a year and however long.
Yeah.
And we fight.
Yeah.
But we still love each other.
Right. And I can't predict the future. I don't know where Lily and I will be in 5 years or 10 years. I can, you know. And I wouldn't want to, because predicting the future is boring. You know, you got to take each day
I'd
to come.
like to know.
No, of course you
I don't want to know details, but I want to know if we're still together in 10 years.
The point I'm trying to make is that I think that no matter what would happen, I know that at the end of the day, I could call Lily or Lily's mom or Lily's dad and say, I'm stuck. Please help.
Sure.
And I know that Lily could call me or could call my parents and could say, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I need your help.
100%.
And I think that whether you voted red or voted blue, it's okay. And it's okay to disagree and maybe even not like your aunt or your uncle or your brother or your sister. But don't let it ruin your friendship. And don't let it ruin your relationship. Because I love mostly everybody, except for bad drivers.
Well, can I say something on that, though?
Yes.
Okay, if your grandparent, mother, father, whoever, is saying or doing something to hurt you or hurt the person you're dating, like, for example, like, if your grandmother is extremely racist and you're dating someone,
then,
like, in that case, take care of yourself.
Right. Yeah,
Like, I agree with what he says 100%,
right.
But if it comes to a dangerous situation or something that makes you uncomfortable,
you need to stand up for what you feel is right. Absolutely.
I just wanted to clarify.
The point I'm trying to make is, if you're sitting at the Thanksgiving table and you are, you know, you're talking with your aunt that you haven't seen in 3 years, and then you're about to go off and have this massive debate on this or that, just think, I know what I believe, she knows what she believes. She's not changing. Let's enjoy the day.
Yeah, exactly.
All right? And governments change all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, it will be a different scenario. Someone will always be hating someone. Just try and enjoy your day. Try and get through every day. And do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, guys. If you like it, please hit like, comment, and subscribe. We always love hearing from you. Thank you guys very much. Take care.
Bye.